Hey there, and welcome to season 1, episode 10. We could call this one What the Hard Decisions, maybe. It's been a bit of a week here in crop marketing. Of course, the show presented by John Deere. I'm going to continue to harp on knowing your numbers in 2024. I promise I won't talk about this for the next year, but for the month of January, for sure. It is time to get on board with a platform like Harvest Profit. I hope to chat with Nick here a little bit later on this month. He's the guy that created the program way back in the day. He's actually a great follow on X as well. 2024 is tense, folks, and with this market trend, it's not a market slide, it's a market trend. It started back in March of 2022 and continues. You need to know where you'll make your money this year, what profit margins exist out there, how tight things are. Harvest Profit can help you be a savvy farmer here in 2024. It's super late for recording tonight. This is the first episode of 2024. It is, of course, Positive Friday, or I hope you're listening to this on Positive Friday, because after taking 2 weeks off, I'm not sure that was the correct call here, because this week has been an absolute gong show at my house. We have had this nasty flu bug that started over the weekend, and it's been absolutely terrible. So I'm recording this on Thursday night. I've got a little cheers here as well. I'm going to need some liquid courage for this one because there's some hot topics here coming up in a few minutes. But my wife has been down with the flu all week. She's a strong one in our family, but she's had a tough one here. And so I've been busy keeping everyone fed, hydrated, and clean. And I say clean because poor Finn turned 1 on Tuesday, hasn't had any birthday cake yet, and he's had a week. We've done a lot of, won't go into the details, folks, but it's been a lot of showers and a lot of clothes, lots of clothes washing this week. So it's been a tough one on the family here. So hopefully the little guy gets his birthday cake here this weekend. Let's see here. A couple more housekeeping things. I don't have all the details yet, and I'm kind of terrible at this, but we do have a new contest that we're going to launch officially. I don't know when, a couple of weeks probably. But you, the early listener to the What the Futures podcast, you have a chance to just kind of sneak in here with a quick early entry. And all you have to do is text the word Nashville. Okay, Nashville to 1-855-606-1889. That is, of course, our text line for the show. And I just learned how to click this button where the banner can go across and below the screen here. So we'll give that a little bit of a try, and I'll see if I can freeze my screen behind me as well. But anyways, text Nashville to 1-855-606-1889. It's coming across the bottom of the screen just beautifully if you are watching the video. And I'll give you more details in the future, but give that a go, and we'll see what happens here in the next couple weeks. With this cold weather, a trip to Nashville might be warranted. Of course, our text line is being sponsored by Pioneer Seeds and Corteva. So thank you very much for the sponsorship there, folks. Of course, we're going to give away some canola seed, P516L, another bag here at the end of the month. Brad Betker was our winner in December, but we're doing this each and every month, folks. So thank you to Pioneer Seeds. All right. I'll be in Brandon, Manitoba next week for Manitoba Ag Days, hanging out at the Ag I3 booth. This is in Barn 3, booth 1714. If you're going to be in Brandon at the farm show, come say hello. We can talk podcast. We can talk risk management. Agri Enhance, which is their flagship insurance product offering from Agi3. Head to the website, agi3.ai. Check them out. And I'm also working very hard to get a last minute spot here to host a bit of a power hour or a happy hour, whatever you want to call it. But a chance to get together with farmers, shoot the breeze, have a beer, talk all things farming. And I'm just trying to get those details organized here. I'll try to get them done today for Positive Friday and get those details out to everybody so they can come hang out with me, have a beer, and talk farming. All right, folks, that's enough of the baloney here. Let's get into my positive moments for the week. We're already at minute 5, 6, and I'm just getting a positive moments here. A couple for this week. Number one, Finn turns 1. My blue-eyed little guy. Such a blessing to us. He's cruising around, walking. He's doing lots of talking now, and he's also getting a little mischievous, which is just a bunch of fun. So I'm very fortunate to be his dad. So that's my number one positive moment for the week here. He turned 1 on Tuesday, and then a silly one. My second one, and I think this is an important life tip, so that's why I'm bringing it up. I know many of you have shop cats. I have boots and mittens that guaranteed one of them will jump on my back while recording here. They jump in the frame often enough. But I accidentally bought the $16 kitty litter at Costco the other day instead of the $10 stuff. Unbelievable. What a treat. What a joy to have cats. And if you haven't done it, spend the extra $6. The $16 kitty litter is a game changer. Okay, let's get to some serious things now. I need to take a swig because this is I need a little confidence booster for this one. You know, a Gibson's tastes mighty fine when it's minus 36 outside here. So anyways, okay, so this topic is well, let's start with, if you've been following along on my X feed, formerly Twitter, I've been disappointed to see that some farmers in Western Canada have not been paid for grain hauled a few months ago. Okay, nothing upsets me more in this industry than seeing that happen when someone has worked all year, put the expense in, labored over that crop, stressed over that crop, nurtured that crop all the way to the bin, delivers it, and then doesn't get paid. Nothing upsets me more. Okay. And the reason is that it doesn't just happen overnight, where the buyer went to bed Monday night, woke up on Tuesday and said, oh crap, we owe people, hundreds of thousands of dollars and we don't have the cash. This issue starts small and snowballs and gets worse and worse and worse. Now, let's just flip it for a quick second. Have you experienced a buyout or have bought out a contract on your farm? Did you experience one in 2021? If you didn't do it right away, what happened? It escalated. You saw it every day and you saw the market climbing and you knew it was getting worse, and it sucked and it was getting worse. And this is kind of the same thing, but reverse. If you want to know that feeling, like you sat there, you knew what was happening, but it was hard. You couldn't make the decision, or you couldn't have the discussion, whatever it was stressful. This is the flip side of that. Okay. The buyer knows what's going on. They're just not being upfront. Western Canada, we're a small ag space. Okay. It really is. And I found out of this non-payment or lack of payment kind of by accident. I didn't catch it on the Facebook group. I went and found it after, but I just kind of caught wind of it, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? Why are you not being paid for your green peas? And anyways, I saw this, and I just messaged the company on X, and I said, hey, what's going on, but more importantly, why don't you guys jump on the pod here and let's talk about it. And if there's a plan to get everybody paid, they should have had no problem to be like, yeah, let's jump on the podcast and talk about it. Instead, they just kind of denied it. What I found out shortly after was that a few farmers were being impacted by this company. It wasn't just the one that I had talked to during the holidays. It was, or right before the holidays. It was a couple. I found some on the Saskatchewan Farmers Facebook group. There's a bit of a side conversation with multiple farms now. So multiple farms not being paid in a timely fashion. And being late is one thing, right? If you're going to get paid, it's not fun. It sucks, but you're going to get paid, right? Being late is one thing. But when you start to see multiple people involved, that's where my red flags kind of came up. And so they mentioned on X that they weren't aware of issues out there. And so that was a little bit disappointing to hear. Farmers were being told they weren't getting paid right away, and it was documented, and yet the company denied it. Okay, so that really gets my blood boiling. They also, at the same time, were buying grain each and every day. So while farmers are not being paid, they're still out there buying grain. And that is, to me, a big red flag, a big no-no. I don't know how this stuff can continue on like that, but it does. So farmers that don't know what's going on are still selling to them. Okay. Now, this does turn maybe into a good news story at the end. Okay. It's not all doom and gloom here. So I see that they're buying grain, and I just post and I say, hey, did you get those late payments sorted out over the holiday break? ? And at first, a couple posts, no, we don't know what you're talking about. No, please reach out to us if you're blah blah blah. And then finally, after like 30 minutes, they said, oh, okay, sorry, we are changing our tune here. And they publicly admitted that their accounting team is on it, looking into these payment issues for our customers. I'm quoting them here. And we're working to sort it out ASAP. Thanks for the follow-up. That's what they messaged back to, or tweeted back, or posted back to me. Okay. My response, thank you for the follow-up. Glad to see this is being sorted out in a timely way. Keep up the good work. Agfinity, don't let me down here, okay? Do the right thing. Don't let me down. Everybody can move on. And business as usual. Everybody gets paid. Life's good. Don't let us down. All right. Moving on. Next topic. Again, I got to take another swig, folks. All right. So this one, I kind of poked fun at it a little bit, but I've been in these shoes. Okay. So a whopper of a canola recommendation came out a couple days ago. I'm recording this Thursday night, late night, dark, after dark episode, minus 36 outside. But a whopper of a canola recommendation came out from a large consulting business this week. See? I saw that, right? There we go. Disrupting the podcast. That was Mittens. All right. Jeff might edit that out. We'll see where we get to here. Okay. So, whopper of a canola recommendation. This is after $100 a ton drop in canola futures since that last little rally, that 7, 10, 7.15, whatever you want to call it. This is the recommendation that comes. So I wanted to say I've been in this boat before. I've seen these markets decline like this. In my career as working with farmers, I've had these conversations, and I sympathize with them. I do. It takes a lot to look in the mirror say you were wrong, by not selling more before, and then tell hundreds, maybe more, maybe in the thousands of farmers to make a sale after such a large decline in January. As consultants, analysts, you take your medicine from time to time as well. You hope that your analysis has led you to make this call, and that you can look back and say, geez, that wasn't perfect. That was a brutal decline, and we made that large sale. But, look what happened after the fact. It dropped another, X value, whatever it was. Who knows? Time will tell. Now we'll look back and see. Um, but it takes a lot to make that call to say, okay, from today forward, we want to reduce our risk. So we're selling X percentage, a big percentage here. And our analysis leads us to make the sale. As farmers as well, you look at it and say, geez, after that drop, you're making the sale? Like, where were you? And if we all knew the answers, I wouldn't be doing this podcast, that's for sure. And, everyone would be on some beach if they knew all these answers and living the dream. But anyways, as a farmer, it's a little bit frustrating as well. And you come to terms with the market, and you come to terms with the price, and you kind of say, okay, I'll remove myself from this mess, and I'm going to make my sale and move on. And that's, at the end of the day, that's the thing that you have to think about and look at doing. I've chatted with many farmers here recently, and actually today was a interesting day. I've chatted with farmers I hadn't talked to in a couple of years, kind of called out of the blue, so that was neat. But I see the dips below 18. Well, I'm not selling until it gets back to 18, and then okay, and then that turned into, well, I'm not selling until it gets back to 16, and now it's like, okay, it's 14, and we're seeing a lot of selling out there at these levels. So anyways, it takes a lot to come up with these recommendations, and it's certainly not easy. And I know, hey, like, I got to eat some crow here as well. Chuck and I were chatting canola markets back in late November, early December, whenever it was. And I didn't think, I've been a bear, for a while now, thinking markets are going to work lower, and they have, but I certainly didn't anticipate canola making a new low in January here. I kind of thought we'd do that in December and then move on. So anyways, we'll talk about this more in a few minutes when we eat our veggies. All right. So next segment, news you can use. We have a couple storylines here that I want to shed some color on, some light. Number one is Brazil. And when you look at what's impacting your markets right now, what's happening in Brazil with the consistent rain events that they're experiencing, it's not perfect, but the pattern has changed, and it's getting much better when it comes to growing a crop in Brazil. The worst is behind us, at least temporarily. It could still get worse, but rain makes grain. It's making the crop. And now it's more about, what are those actual yields? You don't know until you're harvesting that crop. Could there be too much rain at harvest time, and that could lower quality, and there could be a harvest struggle? Like, things like that can rally this market. But if you're sitting here saying, hey, I'm going to be bullish Brazilian drought, I believe that ship has sailed. And unless it turns very hot, very dry, very quickly, the worst is behind us. So the lowest estimates came out tonight, or earlier today, sorry, at 143 million metric tons of soybean production. That was a bit of a shocker, because most in the trade are 151 to 157. And see what the USDA prints for a number here tomorrow. It won't be, in my opinion, a 143, but probably like a 156, 157. That wouldn't surprise me. And I also want you to remember, Argentina has a very big crop. I think someone I was listening to today said 25 million tons of production last year for Argentina soybeans, and this year's expected to be 50 million tons. So much, much different there. So think about them all. Think about that as a whole in South America for soybean production. Next news for us to watch is the USDA report. As of recording, I guess when you're listening to this, the USDA report's probably already out. And what I want you to look at, or hopefully what you looked at, was the US numbers. If there's going to be a surprise to the upside to this market or to the downside, it's going to come from those US numbers, not, in my opinion, the South American updates. Canadian canola exports. This comes from Oil World, a great publication that you can check out. But August to December of 2023, canola shipments from Canada, there was only 2.5 million tons. Again, that's August to December of 2023. That is down 24% on the year and the lowest level in more than 15 years. I'll say it again, lowest level in more than 15 years. And it's not China. China was actually, to the end of November, was up 3% year over year. Instead, it's Pakistan, Mexico, and the EU. They're not buying as much or nothing from Canada this year. And that's why your big firms are out there selling. They, along with the grain companies, I shouldn't say all grain companies, but they're looking at this saying that canola carryover is going to be significant. And we're going to have some conversations about that this year. And we're going to have some conversations about that over the next 6 months. If you look at, year over year, exports down 24% from August to December, you could say they're onto something. Right? The proof's in the pudding. But what's in front of us? I don't know. Do we pick up some of that 24% or not? I don't know. If we want a chance at it, canola futures have to work lower. And I believe canola futures are going to work lower here again, continued over the next 6 weeks, because we've lost our Brazilian weather scare premium rally. In my opinion, we've lost that now. We don't have a lot to trade on. If there could be that additional demand here that would come in right now, that would support this market. But if exports are down, we want to sell more, prices have to work lower. And farmer selling's picked up significantly at these levels as well. So yeah, it's going to be a tough grind here for a little bit. Lastly, just on that note, Western Canadian farmer, the selling is accelerating, okay? And it makes sense. It should right now for multiple reasons. Number one, undersold farmers. This has been the common theme all year. Just not having as much price as normal. And then, of course, trying to come to terms with a declining market and when to position those sales. It's tough. It's not easy, folks. But farmer selling is accelerating because people need cash right now. Now, before I actually say that, I was chatting with my dad was at the crop production show in Saskatoon. He's doing a little recon mission there as well and doing some research. And the theme was that canola stocks, the carryover is going to climb. I don't know by what number, but it's going to climb significantly because farmers are going to carry it over into next year. They don't necessarily need the money and they'll carry it over. So that's kind of an interesting one. But generally speaking, if you need cash, it's now. You got to pay your crop input lines at Richardson here at the end of the month. You got to pay your February is nutrient, right? We've got to pay FCC in March. We've got equipment payments in March, April, land rent. Again, kind of preaching to the choir here. You know what's due. But if you need cash, it's this time of year. So that's why that farmer selling is accelerating. And I think people are just washing their hands and a little bit fed up of watching these markets decline here. All right. I hope we found something useful in those headlines. Next, market moves and price indications. Now, I wish I had a little bit more time to get some of this researched for this week. Just running short with my with what we had going on, but um, uh, again, canola, in my opinion, at this time, I was really banking on a Brazilian drought that would rally this market. And I don't think the canola market goes down in a straight line like it has been necessarily. But I do believe we have a tough 6 weeks ahead of us, minimum. And we're going to see sellers. We're going to see limited buyers, crushers filling up, line companies not super aggressive. And it's going to be tough slugging until we start to get into more of a discussion about acres and dry weather in the spring and so on and so forth, once you get back into more of that production cycle. And well, I guess if you need the cash and you have to sell the canola, you can go ahead and do that. And as every analyst has been saying all year long, so you can replace that with a call option. You can do something. You can talk to an expert out there and get an opinion on what to do if you need to sell that canola to generate cash, but want to stay in the market for the spring and summer. There's options out there. Okay. Canola market, in my opinion, continues to slide. I don't know. I wish it wasn't. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're going to have a tough go yet. 600 support, 580. We'll see where it goes from there. Feed barley also continues to slide. And David and I, we were supposed to record earlier this week. We should get together on Friday here. So I won't steal his thunder or secret sauce, but something did happen to pressure this market lower once again. And we lost like 10 to 15 bucks a ton in feed barley this week. And you add to that, farmer selling increased significantly on barley sales. Now, will cold weather support these prices? We will see. A little bit of snow, a little bit of cold. See where that goes. But it did slide 10 to 15 bucks a ton. Other than that, market move, spring wheat sitting on support, guys. March contract at $7 on Minneapolis. That's a support line. If we breach that, and you'll see when I talk about eating your veggies, price wheat, guys, folks, price wheat. I'm worried we fall below that here shortly, and then we're in tough. We're aiming for 6, and that's a buck a bushel lower, and then whatever happens in basis as well. So spring wheat trending on the low side of the range. Soft white values in the low 8s now. That's trending lower. Honestly, folks, what isn't trending lower? It would be a green pea, a maple pea, a green lentil, large green lentils, small green lentils. Those are all trending higher, at least staying neutral. Everything else is sliding. Even yellow peas are coming off their highs as well. There's still some 13s out there for old crop, but they're coming off their highs. For new crop, though, for price indications, we've got malt, barley. I'm seeing some 650s. I haven't seen a 7. I don't think there was a 7 at Crop Production Show. So pencil out some 650s. See what that does for your farm. Feed barley is area specific, but I'd be curious to see what that looks like. I think if you're in southern Alberta, your feed and malt prices, I should actually just do some quick cowboy math here and double check that number. All right. Apparently in southern Alberta, feed barley is worth maybe a bit more than malt barley. So that's where that stands. Yellow peas trading at $11 a bushel in some areas for new crop. I thought that was a good starting point. Green peas at 14 in some areas. I know I heard a bunch of 13 as well, but 14 with Act of God. I will get after that as well. And I'm sure there's some lentil opportunities, green lentil opportunities out there. I would think. Um, what else did I have to highlight for bids? Oh, I'm going to release another episode shortly. I'll talk about that at the end. But anyways, that's where we're at for now on market moves and price indications. All right, now our Eat Your Veggies segment. Why is it Eat Your Veggies? Because it's the responsible thing to do, folks. And so this is what I would look at doing. Again, you may want to seek the advice of a professional out there. But if it were up to me, this is what I would take a peek at. Number one, get your cash in the bank, right? Get the funds ready to pay those bills in these cash flow heavy times. Get it done sooner than later, folks. It doesn't turn out well in a market trending lower when you need money and you wait to the last minute. It's not good. Price your wheat. I already said it. I'll say it one more time. Price your wheat. We are sitting on support at 7. I hope we hold. If we don't, and I am a believer that markets move in similar directions. We've been lucky with demand so far, but farmer selling is accelerating. Could easily get pressured lower. Sell your wheat, spring wheat specifically. Soft white as well in the 8s. I think we're low 8s for soft white. And then lastly, number 3, review your crop plan, your margins. Look at some of these specialty crops, pencil what they could look like on your farm. Some of these margins are very strong. It's worth taking a look. It's worth researching. It's worth maybe trying some of these crops for the first time. And I know you're going to say, Ryan, if we all do that, we're going to, pressure the market lower with all these extra acres. Yeah, okay, I get it, but we could get a good chunk priced or hedged safely before that. So take a look and don't lose focus on new crop selling decisions. When you get these downward markets, those lower trends, we get mad, we get frustrated. I get it, but don't lose track of new crop and maybe look at new crop to feel a little bit better about what's going on. Maybe there's some carry in that market and you can say, hey, well, the price of wheat's 50 cents better. I shouldn't say the price of wheat because it's not, but the price of whatever is higher for fall, and that's a good thing. Maybe you'll feel a bit better. All right, that's it for eating your veggies here for this week. Let's wrap it up now. Early next week, again, the plan was to get a couple episodes out. That just didn't happen. But you're going to get your first Lunch Pail Crew episode. And the Lunch Pail Crew episodes are basically episodes or podcasts that I feel have key and important messages in that will help you with your decision making. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how it actually turns out. But obviously, if you're part of a lunch pail crew, you're a hard worker. All of you are bringing your lunch pail out to the field every single day, or out to the farm every day. If you're working cows or whatever you're out doing, working in the barn, you're bringing your lunch pail with you. So these are hardworking episodes that I hope you can take some information from to make some good decisions. The first one is going to be my predictions episode. Now, my predictions are just a bunch of baloney, to be honest with you. Who knows, right? But I am going to go over crop rankings. I'm going to go over my 2024 acreage increases and decreases. And I also have some bold predictions that I'll make and some expectations that I want to highlight. And you can all laugh at me next year when you say, Ryan, you were wrong on everything, but let's throw it out there. Let's get it on record, and it will live there and we can review it. So we should have some fun with it. Lunch Pail Crew episodes, you'll get more and more of them as the spring rolls on, and I'll talk more about it in the future. Nothing to stress about at this time. Just hopefully some ways to make some money or help you make some money in 2024. Okay, folks, that's it. Cheers to you. after hours episode here. What's been a crazy week. Have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy your Positive Friday, and look for the next episode early next week. Lunch Pail Crew coming at you. Cheers. I'm out.